The spirit of 1914, the idea that Europeans gleefully marched into World War I, is largely a product of a few iconic photographs. Images of Berlin on August 1st show crowds of young men beaming with joy, swinging their hats in the streets and singing patriotic songs. But this enthusiasm was mostly restricted to the young and the bourgeois. Outside these student-heavy crowds, the atmosphere was far grimmer, filled with the silence of people dreading the future. The reality of August 1st was not a celebration, but an onslaught on food shops. Panicked Berliners stripped shelves of grain, canned goods, and vegetables, desperately stockpiling supplies for a war they saw coming. This was a population bracing for impact, feeling the sudden, inescapable weight of a conflict they had no power to halt. On August 1st, the first domino fell. Following Russia's full military mobilization, the German Empire formally declared war and ordered its own troops to begin their movement. Within hours, the global financial system went into shock. Stock exchanges across Europe shuttered their doors to prevent a total economic collapse, forcing the New York Stock Exchange to follow suit and close. Europe's military alliances operated like a single interlocking gear. Calling up one nation's army mathematically obligated the others to do the same, leaving no space for a diplomatic pause. By the night of August 1st, the speed of military mobilization had begun to outrun the speed of human diplomacy, shifting control from heads of state to railway timetables. To bypass heavily fortified French defenses, the German military relied on the Schlieffen Plan, a massive invasion cutting directly through neutral Belgium. On August 2nd, the German government issued a 12-hour ultimatum, demanding free passage for their troops. On the morning of August 3rd, King Albert of Belgium delivered his answer. He refused the request, legally framing Germany as the aggressor the moment their troops crossed the border. Germany invaded on August 4th. This violation of Belgian territory legally compelled Great Britain to enter the conflict to honor the 1839 Treaty of London. Looking out a window in the Foreign Office as dusk fell on London, British Foreign Secretary Sir Edward Grey watched the gas lamps flicker on. He remarked to a friend, "The lamps are going out all over Europe. We shall not see them lit again in our lifetime." Diplomacy didn't slowly erode. It was violently outpaced by military schedules that were designed to never stop once they were activated. The British declaration of war instantly expanded the conflict's reach far beyond the European border. Because the British Empire spanned the globe, the dominions of Canada, Australia, and New Zealand were immediately drafted into the fight. The first shot fired by a soldier in British service actually occurred in Africa. On August 7th, Alhaji Grunchi of the Gold Coast Regiment opened fire on a German-led police force in the colony of Togoland. At the same time, German battlecruisers like the SMS Goeben were maneuvering through the Mediterranean, racing to secure strategic alliances and spread the war toward the Black Sea. The nature of early 20th century empires guaranteed that a localized European dispute would instantly become a planetary crisis. Within the first 10 days, the arrival of brand new military technologies upended traditional warfare. On August 6th, a German Zeppelin dropped bombs on Liège, Belgium. This first strategic air attack on a major city turned civilians into direct targets. By August 9th, the threat moved beneath the sea with the sinking of the German submarine U-15. In less than 2 weeks, the battlefield had expanded into the clouds and deep beneath the waves, forcing the world to adapt to the realities of modern, mechanized horror. By August 12th, the core geopolitical lines were set. Britain and France had formally declared war on Austria-Hungary, making the escalation irreversible. With the continent at war, governments began centralizing authority, pivoting from foreign diplomacy to domestic management. Britain passed the Defense of the Realm Act to take over the nation's railways, while Canada enacted the War Measures Act, granting the government power to suspend certain civil rights during the crisis. By mid-August, the demand for wartime efficiency had begun to reshape civil society, prioritizing military necessity over traditional individual liberties. Looking back at those cheering faces in Berlin, the celebration takes on a tragic weight. These crowds were not witnessing a glorious call to arms, but a cascade of rapid failures. The spirit of 1914 was an illusion. The war was born of a system that moved with a velocity few individuals could even comprehend, let alone stop. A global catastrophe does not require a popular mandate to ignite. It only requires a system that moves faster than its people.